start.
So, how can
Let's start. No. Everything sounds like something that you see. I don't give a Let me catch the fish.
Let's go. Sometimes, guys, coming from making it. So I think the first thing that I'll do is I think we need to, I think we can introduce ourselves, and then that will, I just go through the agenda and so you know what we're doing. So, well, we're supposed to have some registration in the session, which was our snacks and games. So what I'll do is we just have this small intro session. So we'll explain to you who women is and what we are about and what we seek to do. And just remind the person about what it is. Then Petra will speak to us. I don't know how long you will. But we hope that we can then have a discussion session. Because mostly and then we get to have we get to talk some more hopefully by then of next week. And then close. Okay. I don't need this or do you need it?
So that gets in.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's Paul. We'll plug him in somewhere. So first, maybe we can go around very quickly and introduce ourselves, our names, who we represent, where we're coming from, where we work, and one interesting fact about yourself. Yes. So I'll start. And my had to be the most boring, so you don't have to see the next presenter has something very interesting. So I'm Enyonam Jillian. I work with City Labs, Sokol, in most people know me here. Our product really serves families and also serves NGOs. Our really serve families who can be information about prices and over their handsets. I'm the women in tech as well. Co-founder, Chapter co-founder of Ghana. And interesting fact about me, I love chocolate. Next time you're coming here, chocolate, chocolate. That's your email. Yeah, tag me, I'm sure. Okay, so, I'm Celeste Sendeji, co-founder of Jesus Consulting. Jesus Consulting is an accounting and bookkeeping for startups and SMEs. I'm also a co-founder or chapter lead for the Tech. And what's unique about me? I don't know. Anything. I just love to be with people. Just love to learn something about somebody. I always try to learn something from somebody all the time. I'm out as a carpenter, and I'm currently in the involved in strategic planning. So one interesting fact about me is I like to gather pieces of knowledge every day or so. Probably doing something out and out and then get to contribute. Thank you.
I'm not even going to speak.
Sure.
I'm probably nice at this, but
Oh, we do.
I operate an agro business, DHL. And, well, I do multiple things. I do a bit of consultancy for businesses, SMEs, so I do a lot of things. Also, I try to manage this influence, but I do a lot of things. I do a lot of things and I keep my head. That's my thing. A lot of people would like to know why I do that, but it's been really good for more challenge. I have a bit of health, strange health related issue with it.
If you cut your hair.
I have infections. I have
Kelly from Jesus Consulting.
What's really exciting to you?
My name is Mary. I work with and I'm a team.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, so good evening. My name is Petra. I work with Delta Airlines. I'm a chartered marketer by profession. And my work is in sales. So I'm a sales lead for them. One interesting thing about me is I'm a South Pole, so I'm left handed. So guys, this is your plug, so.
My name is Paul. I run a startup called Gamer. We basically provide video game solutions, which ironically includes live streaming, which is outside of video game, which can be used outside of gaming to like broadcast stuff like this. So I tell being my mentor and everything, I couldn't listen back and watch this be streamless. So that's what we come with. These are Nobel and Prince. They just started like a week ago, so kind of teaching them the roots of gaming technology. So glad to be here.
Thank you. Charity.
So I want you to check out the
Charity. And actually staff.
So check to make sure that what we have is on balance and this and also
Assistance. Something interesting about a unique thing about you.
I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So usually, I'm always seeing person. Yeah, I always get this the best way. So I'm always asking questions. I think I've done that already. That's funny.
Thank you very much. So go like comfortable. We know each other. No strangers here. So, just briefly go over women in tech. It started out with women in tech. Now it's women in tech Africa. And now it's going to bring the world to one country at a time. So, really, the agenda is like threefold. It's about modeling creating female leaders in Africa. showing the world how strong African women are, and then also supporting African women through technology. So we have members across the continent, and I think this year we started chapters in Kenya and in UK and South Africa. And I think DRC, Benin, these are countries that are coming up as well. So across the continent, we hold quarterly meetings, which has been very, very like this. They're usually much better attended than this one. So Petra, forgive us. We've had other events where you can see some of the events, pictures from previous events on there, where we, giving back to the society. So we gave, I think that's where the last week so she came to an event where we were talking, reaching out to other women, and just asking them to come in and we were sharing music. And so we had sessions on business planning, how to write up, and how to use social media, even though to reach out to people. I think it was interesting as well was how to use the internet, how to leverage on the internet to run your business. So there are actually 4 things that we are looking at: career leadership, technology for growth in Africa, increasing the STEM pipeline for girls, and then female entrepreneurship. So what these sessions really are about is encouraging each other, mentoring each other, coaching each other. It's also about talking about technology, so that's the focus that we bring in here. And then I think as we're mentoring, we're thinking about entrepreneurship and businesses. So we see a lot of novel, small company ideas here. And these are things that we see to encourage, as well as thinking about how to get more women into technology so that they're not shying away from maths, for science. So that's really what we're about. And all the programs that have been organizing or putting together have been around these things. So, yeah, the team, these are our founders, Ethel and Charlene. Charlene is in Kenya, so she's been really spearheading the Kenyan team. I think everyone knows Ethel. And these are just pictures from previous events. So we had Estelle and Richie from Microsoft. And then our last events, Anne from Mobile, good to see. And we've had Ringier. Yeah, so we've had a lot of people come up to show up at these events as well. And it's really also a chance for us to network as well and find out what's going on out there and how we can place ourselves in the market for jobs and also to help each other really. So that's our agenda as movement. Any questions, thoughts, ideas? Petra? Are you okay? So I'll just okay, so we'll just zoom in straight into the purpose of which we gathered here today. We're here to have a discussion about taking opportunities, either at your workplace or as an entrepreneur or as an individual, how to identify opportunities and how to make good use of those opportunities. So we have none other than our own Petra. I've known her from afar, which she doesn't know. I'm following her on Facebook, everywhere. She doesn't know. I'm actually, yes, it's not me. I know her from somebody. She doesn't know I know. That's scary, no? That's scary. Don't worry. Petra is an interesting person. She and I have been on the social media platform somewhere to talk about certain issues before linked to a commenter. So Petra is a good speaker. I'm sure we're going to enjoy ourselves. And don't worry about the crowd. We're sure the next event will be much bigger than today. We know it will come off soon. Yeah. She joined the Delta team as a national service person in 2006 and became the general manager in 2013. She also supervises Delta's sales efforts in Liberia and Cote d'Ivoire as organized stations. Petra is a first-class graduate of the University of Ghana, Legon, with a bachelor's degree in political science. She's a chartered marketer with a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK. She teaches marketing on a part-time basis at the Simon Page School of Marketing and is an MPhil marketing candidate of the University of Ghana Business School. Petra speaks to several issues including entrepreneurship, leadership, and career development. She's passionate about contributing to a generation of young African leaders who are excellent in their work. As part of her contribution to her field, she hosts a weekly sales discussion on Facebook, Sales 101. She blogs at petraasamoah.com. She's married. She's a mother of 2 kids. So I could go on and on about Petra. But let's leave it here. Please welcome Petra with us. Hold on, we need to use this.
Yes.
You can have a seat here.
Yeah.
Usually we have house.
Our brother's son.
We can. I've been sitting the whole day. All right. Good evening. Good evening. All right. So thank you very much, Women in Tech. The first time Ethel told me to attend one of the meetings, I said no. And I said, I'm not a techie person. What am I going to see at such a very important gathering of women? I didn't want to come. And then she asked again, and I said I couldn't refuse the second time. So, yeah, that's how come I'm here. Yeah, but like I was telling it here, the lady with ice face, even though I'm respectable, I'm not a techie, nerdy person. Yeah. So, hopefully, so then we're a good company. Yes. So I'm going to be talking to you about taking opportunities. And most of what I'm going to be saying will be about what I've experienced and how I think that we need to position ourselves to take advantage of the opportunities out there. It's good that we're a small group, so we can ask all of the questions, make all of the contributions, and I can remember everybody's name. So, Edwina, Salasi, Abba, what was I? I can't forget that. That's a good name. Joshua, Helen, Charity, Mary, and Paul. Good. I work in sales. Okay, so just a bit of a background of what I do and who I am professionally. I work with Delta Airlines. Delta represents Delta offers service into the US, non-stop on Accra. And we've served this market for 9 years, 10 years next year. I've been in the business for all of the 9 years. So I started off a month before we started flying. I celebrated my 9th anniversary on the 11th of November last week. Yeah, and it's a long time to be in any organization, but I've also done a lot of moving around. So I started off as national service. I did ticketing, call center, sales. I became ticketing manager at some point, sales and operations manager, and I became general manager 2 years ago. So it's been a very interesting round and round and round. And I'm hoping that I can share some of that experience with you tonight. Please ask questions at any point. It's not supposed to be a lecture. So if there's any contribution you want to make, what I teach It's usually also a very small group because it's a professional course. I'm not used to very large crowds. So I'm very excited that it's just 10 things I don't need to read tonight. So that's my background. But thinking about the topic of taking advantage of opportunities, one of the biggest things that came to mind were two words: perception and reality. Now, perception is basically what something is perceived as. If I don't use the word perception, and to say what something is deemed as, so what someone thinks an individual or a thing to be, what is perceived to be. And reality is what's real. And as I was thinking about my journey and what we need to do to take advantage of opportunities, those two words stood out very clearly to me. What's the perception of who you are versus what's the reality of who you are? The perception of who you are can limit your access to opportunities. And you also have a role to play in that perception. So basically, what is the perception of you? And how does that perception of who you are affect you, positively or negatively? Now, the perception that Mary has of me, or Joshua has of Abba, or Abba has of Selassie, or Edina has of Selassie, will be based on a few things. One of the things could be your background, your experience, the stereotypes you have already programmed in your mind, and what you've been exposed to, what you think about the world, your worldview, things like that. So, for instance, when Joshua was introducing himself, he spoke about his hair. And I perceived that that has been a question that a lot of people ask. So he wanted to address it even before we start asking him. And it's one of the basic things in our environment where people perceive you in a particular way because of how you look, how your hair is, how you dress, what kind of shoes you wear, what kind of watch you have, things like that. Marketers will call it branding. So how you represent yourself as a brand. Now that perception could be wrong or right. But I want to focus tonight on how we can drive the perception. Okay. So there are things that you can't control. You can't control another person's attitude towards you for being a female. Or you can't control someone's attitude to you for being black or for being young. But you can control some aspects of that perception. And that's what I want us to focus on. So you're in an organization and the organization has certain opportunities. What can you do to ensure that you take the fullest advantage of opportunities that are available to you in that organization? The first thing I want to talk about is how you present yourself. I'm not focusing tonight on grooming or any of those things. I'm focusing on how you present the reality of who you are. When I'm in an environment where it seems to be very fashionable to want to be humble, most times when people are asking a group to describe themselves, it's very common in Ghana to say, I'm very humble, and I'm quiet, and I'm talking. But I discovered something recently. There are two types of, let's say 4 types of people in the world. There are good people and bad people, as one type of description. And then there are silent people and loud people. When good people are loud, the world gets filled with good. When bad people are loud, the world gets filled with bad. And when good people are silent, the world still gets filled with bad. Now the problem with most of us is there's a lot of good, but we're too silent. And so all of the potential and the capacity and the good things in you, because we're in an environment where we've been socialized to feel that it's good to be quiet and don't be too out there and you have to be all over the place, you don't have to be loud, nobody ever gets to know. And that's the quickest way to get past on good opportunities. So in business, perception rules. Most of the time, boards or management don't really get to interact with you to know really what you're capable of doing. They rely a lot on perception. So When I started off as national service, one of the things, and I have no idea how I got this, but one of the things I realized very quickly was I wasn't going to be anything or anyone if I continued to behave like a girl. I became a manager at 26, 27. But it was important that I showed that I was responsible enough to be given the kind of responsibility I was given. And that's where I see the biggest challenge. So we come out of school, we are young. I read somewhere recently that 30 is the new 16. So even though we're 16, we're 30, we're still behaving like we're teenagers, and we think that that's an excuse to be childish. And that's a problem in most organizations. So young people are young and they want to be young in their mind, they want to do everything that they're doing forever. And that they use that youth and inexperience as an excuse. But what happens with that is it becomes a disadvantage. So your youth and your inexperience can be a good thing if you're open, like Abba said, to new information, new ideas, you're flexible, you can change very quickly, you don't have your ways set. So you're malleable. Any new idea, you can easily catch on to it very quickly. But when you use your youth and inexperience as an excuse not to perform, then it becomes a problem. And that affects the perception of who you are. So it's a good thing not to have a lot of experience in an area because that becomes an opportunity for you to learn quickly, for you to bring up new ideas. But you must never use that as a tool or as an excuse to say, I've never done it before, so if I make a mistake, it's okay. So that's about perception. And the fact that you mustn't remain small or allow the good that is in you to be under hush. And I recognize that it's a challenge in this environment where, for some reason, we tend to feel that people who are outspoken and well-spoken are too. So even in organizations, we don't want to offend. We don't want to. We don't want to murky the waters. We want to flow with everyone. So we never really come out of ourselves and show what we can do. Now the thing is, when an opportunity is there, and we're thinking about who can fill this space, who can be the team lead, who can be the manager, most times the first thing that comes to mind is who has carried themselves like a leader, who has taken responsibility, even before we start talking about what's the reality of your qualification, what type of certification do you have. So that comes to the part of reality. So it's important that the perception of you and how you project the perception of yourself matches what your reality is. And I say that because we're also in a time where personal branding is the biggest buzz, the biggest fact. So everyone has a strategy. They need to make sure that they're very visible on Facebook, they're visible on Twitter, they're active, they're doing everything. I posted a few weeks ago that LinkedIn is full of fakes. And the reason why I said LinkedIn was full of fakes was I see everyone as a CEO of something or a director of something, but it's really not there. Now, I'm not saying that faith is not good, and having faith in what you want to be is not good, but how you represent yourself and who you really are must match. So who you want to become is one thing, but presenting yourself to the world in a way that represents borderline falsehood becomes a problem. This is why. Because when you're actually given the opportunity, and your capacity, your skills, what you said you can do not match what you said you can do, then it becomes a problem. So, how do we take advantage of opportunities? Ensuring that we manage the perception of who we are, but we also make sure that the reality of who we are is very strong. So one of the things that we must individually do is a very basic thing. Just like you do for a business, you do a SWOT analysis. you can do the same for yourself. But you need to be very truthful. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? And establish to yourself truthfully what you're good at. And when you have your weaknesses, work towards them. Now, because I'm speaking to women in tech group, I must also be very mindful of the fact that you guys have a lot of information. And there's a lot of information out there. So really, there's no excuse ever now that you can't find something, or you don't know something, or you don't know how to do something. But because there's a YouTube video for everything, is a solution.
So,
Every someone know how to have a baby, like the process of having a baby. There's a YouTube video for everything now. Or there's an app. There's an app to help you check when your baby is wet. There's an app to help you check your blood pressure when you're walking, how many miles you walked. So technology has brought so much information to the doorstep of every individual. There is no longer an excuse not to know something or not to know how to do something. And that's why it's not an excuse anymore to be young and inexperienced. Because you can literally step out of school and study everything at the click of a mouse. Okay. So your reality must match. And I'm going to really emphasize on the fact that knowledge, the right knowledge is what's important. So knowing things, having a lot of information is not as important as being able to apply the right information. And that's why I see a challenge. Because I teach, one of the things I realize is we put out a lot of information. So we give our students a lot of information. And then the challenge is, so how does all of this make sense? Thank you, Joshua. And how does all of this help me? Like, you hear things, when we're talking about getting girls involved in mathematics, I'm like, okay, should have had a woman in tech when I was in JSS, because I totally didn't like math. And I struggled with math. And even in my MPhil, I failed economics of business, I failed multivariate data analysis, those are all math related things. And it was just basically because I've been running away all my life from math. I always had the idea that it's difficult. And to get a B in SSCE, I had to start Form 1 math in Form 3. I had to get a personal teacher to teach me from the first day of the syllabus. I started doing that Form 3 second term to be able to write an SSCE and get a B. So if I hadn't done that, I'm sure I would have gotten an F. But that's how bad the math thing problem is for me. Thankfully, I've gotten out of better things. At least I was able to rewrite my previous path. So hopefully I'll graduate soon. But the issue of information is more important to how do we apply it. And the problem with most of us, we've gone through the academic system, we've poured a lot of information on us. So we know the theory, we know all of yes, what the theory is, what is, but we never answer the question of how or why. Now, that takes me back to home and how we were socialized. In most African homes, children don't ask questions. When you ask a question, they answer you with, because I said so. So, mommy, why? Because I said so. Why must I sit down and strap myself? Because I said so. So I'm having a serious struggle right now with the Strap a Child campaign, because a group of friends and myself have decided that there's a big problem with children not getting strapped in. You drive, you see them hanging, and the parents are strapped in, but the children are hanging at the back. And when something happens, children get stressed first. But in my car, every morning is a struggle. Because my children, my son is 5, my daughter is 3, and they can talk. They can also think. So they don't understand why some months ago, mommy allowed us to stand in the middle, and now she's saying we should strap. So this morning, I strapped them in, and then at some point, I realized my daughter was in the middle of the car. I said,
Joy, did you remove the seatbelt? Her response, Mommy, it's not a seatbelt, it's a strap. And as if that has anything to do with anything. I said, okay, yes, it's a strap. Can you please strap yourself? No, but I'm going to school. Her thinking is we had taken the 10 to school. So she's almost on her way out anyway. So why am I telling her to strap? So we had to get into the conversation. But 30 years ago, maybe in the same situation I was in, if I had been told, strap yourself, I would have been strap yourself up. Simple, no question asked. Eat your food or I'll beat you. But now, we can't do that anymore. Because our children are more, I don't know what happened. I think women in tech came and caused but all of the kids are so enlightened and strong and they have a mind of their own and they want to ask questions. So if we were not trained that way to ask questions, we have to cultivate the attitude of asking questions. That's what brings about entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs are asking, why can't we do this any different? Why do we have to wait in line to get food? When we could do it, you can send a text message, or do it mobile, or send an email, or get a pickup. And that's how problems are solved. Okay, so asking questions. And that also helps us apply the information we know. So as much as we're gathering all this information, we want people to apply it. Now the issue of application is also what sets you apart from everybody else in the organization. So you know that you did research in school, you did a long essay. Chances are, hopefully, you didn't outsource it to anybody or pay a consultant for you. So you did it yourself. You did your data analysis, you know how to run it, you did whether you use SPSS or R or simple Excel, you did it yourself. And you finish school with a research-based degree, for a master's degree. And you come into the web environment. You're supposed to carry out a simple research. But hello, because you've never thought about it as this is something I would use at work, you didn't really grasp the fundamentals of it. The other person who knows it and who was able to use it and knows that, okay, so this makes sense. And all of this I learned in school makes sense. Is able to apply it to work. Presents a very nice presentation of how many people come into the office, how many are male, how many are female, how many boys, how many live by, how many do we need to follow up on. And because of that, they look like they're really, really smart. But they just use information a different way. So the two things I really, really want to leave you with is manage the perception of who you are, but let the reality of who you are match the perception you're trying to project. And hopefully, if you focus on that a lot, you should be able to take advantage of all of the wonderful opportunities out there. But specifically to the ladies, young ladies, I'm going to assume all of us. One of the biggest issues is how we carry our femininity into the workplace. So it's a very male-dominated world anyway. Apart from the fact that some industries have a lot of women, some still do have lots of men. So in my industry, there are lots of women. Good. But challenge number one. You're a woman, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a sister at home. And then at work, you want to be a sister, a mother as well. That's a problem. Because every time you project at home, you're the carer at work. And you're trying to make sure that all the guys have had lunch, or they've had breakfast, or your boss has tea. They never really think about you as the person who can take charge of this business when the time comes to take charge. Because you don't have any intellectual discussions with them. And those opportunities to have intellectual discussions will not fall in your lap. You have to create them. One of the biggest opportunities I had was that most mornings, my boss at the time used to come in really early. And most mornings, when I got into work, he was there. He used to do something very big to me at the time. He always gave me a book. And every time I finished reading the book, I had to discuss the book with him and tell him about it. And these were good books. So books from Robin Sharma, books like that. I read The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, The Leader Without Title, The Greatness Guide. And these are all books I read as a national service person. But reading those books and having those discussions with him gave me the opportunity to show how my mind worked. And then every time I saw an issue or a challenge around, I could go to him and say, I've noticed this. Can we try A, B, C, D as a possible solution? And that helped project the perception of who I was in a much better way. So, I'm not saying don't make coffee, don't make tea, but ensure that you're projecting your capacity beyond just being our sister and our mother and my friend's wife or something else like that. Because that limits you. I won't go into the whole how you show up at work parts. But another big issue is every time you use something about being a woman as an excuse, we close up access to opportunities. So the biggest thing in for women is all of the things that, unfortunately, just you have to listen to this. But all of the things, hormonal stuff, the days you don't feel like showing up, oh, I don't want to get up today, I want to sleep in. In the real world, those things can't happen. You really have to find a place deep, deep, deep down in your soul that pulls you out of your bed when you don't feel like going and go. Because for every time you call in and say, oh, I have cramps, I can't show up today, there's a guy in your office who never has cramps, who never has a sick child, or never has to do any of, doesn't have to throw up, doesn't have to spit, doesn't feel any of those things. And he's just working. So I say that women are we're in a more difficult situation, so we need to put in 200% than the men. Because it's just like being in school. And I started the master's program still with 2 children. And you never know when a child is going to be sick. My daughter was sick on the day I had my first exam. First semester, first exam. She was sick. Sunday, whole day sick. Monday, sick in hospital. We left hospital at 11 o'clock. My paper was at 1:30. So let's just say I hadn't studied, I didn't know anything about the paper, and I was waiting to study on Sunday nights. I would have failed. Thankfully, it was internet business, it was marketing, co-marketing, something I do, something I understand. I had been reading, so I didn't have too much of a challenge. But that's how much the challenge is for us, and why we must put in 200% of our best every time. So yes, you have a bad day, the days you feel like I just dragged myself out, I don't want to wake up, I don't want to wear my earrings, I'm having a bad day today. But most times that puts us to disadvantage. So think about it that way, that also that because of you, another woman not does not get the opportunity. Because then the perception is, oh yes. And I hear this all the time. We want to hire a young woman because she's going to get pregnant and go maternity leave for 3 months. But don't worry, very soon we'll get 6 months maternity. I'm going to champion. So that's an issue. But think about it that way as I need to put in my 200% best because all these other stereotypes and things that people already have in their minds. I went to an African country last year. I won't say where. But in that culture, it didn't matter who you were as a woman, the man was always the boss. So I went with a colleague of mine who was a junior colleague. And even at the airport, the gentleman who met us was willing to carry his bags and leave me to carry my bag. So every time when it happened, he said, oh, please take Madame's bag. I said, okay, take Madame's bag. We got to the car. He opened the door for my male colleague and allowed me to open the door myself. No problem. We go to a restaurant. Of course, I'm the senior colleague on the sales trip. I have the money. I'm supposed to pay the bills. The bill comes, the hand numbers, and then I'm like, why are you giving the bill to him? Oh, he's the man. He's paying. This this is not a husband and wife situation. This is a work senior colleague, junior colleague situation. But that's how stereotypes can work. And there's really no point you getting worked up about it, and getting upset and screaming at them. Sometimes they never really change it. So I focus a lot on those situations that are within my control. Knowing what the culture is, knowing what the limitations would be in that environment, and ensuring that you work the best you can to project yourself in the best way. So these are a few things I just want you to think about as you consider the many opportunities out there. And hopefully, with the right attitude, taking advantage of the right information, applying it to every situation, making sure that you project yourself in the best way. And by all means, pay attention to what your brand is out there. Because with technology, everybody can find you. What's the last thing we were talking about? You want me? Like, yes. Now I have a peculiar situation of people smile at me and I'm not sure, do I know them? Have I met them? And just smile back. Yeah. So that's the safest thing to do. Smile back and wave nicely. We are okay. So yeah, social media has opened us up to the world. It also means that just because we're already global, somebody in India, when I started Sales 101, someone in India called a friend of mine and said, are you seeing what's going on Petra's wall? Like, India? I didn't even know I had any friends in India. But yeah, that's how much the world is opened up to us. So Joshua can be in Ghana and be doing business with somebody in such as Botswana in Canada, and he doesn't have to even travel there. He can be hired by a firm in Australia. You don't have to fly there. I've gotten calls from companies in strange European countries talking about they want to come into Ghana, they're looking for someone to do X, Y, Z. So there are things like that, and it's important that you project yourself in a way that you become globally relevant as well. Because the marketplace for opportunities is not just in Ghana any longer. In the same way, when there's an opportunity here and talent can be found here, companies look outside. So just as much as we want to be global, we need to also understand that because the world is open, we're not competing any longer with the 500 other people we came out of school from. We're competing with thousands of other people all over the world. So immediately my son gets into class 1 at 6, there are millions of children in class 1 elsewhere. We have to make sure that it's at the same level with, you can do the same things in numeracy, literacy, all of those things, or at least be above average. Thankfully, he'll be above. But that's how much competition there is in the world. But even when there's competition, there's also the idea that you must maintain some amount of uniqueness about yourself. So find that unique thing about you that makes you different from everybody else. It can be something very little, something very insignificant to other people, not noticeable, but yet makes you different. And ensure that everything that you do has the mark of Joshua on it, or Helen on it, or Mary on it. So that when you're not in the space of where you're working, someone always misses you. Now, there's a difference between being missed and holding the company to ransom. You must always work in a way that when you're not there, you know that, oh, if Petra was here, it would have been done this way. But also work in a way that you're passing on information, and passing on leadership, and passing on legacy. So that it's not because you left that the company collapsed, but you've been able to train and impart and let other people also lead. And by sharing, I think you basically become greater than who you started off as. And that's why I love to teach. So I realize that every time I talk about something, it makes more sense to me. I understand it better. So I hope the things I've said make sense to you. It will let you think a lot about what's out there, what you can do. And I will see you at the top. Are you guys listening? Okay. Hello. I'm Petra, and you are Dominic, Alberta, Helen, Suleiman.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. I didn't know you were in our meeting. Thank you for joining us. So, we have a few minutes for questions, comments. Anyone have anything to say, anything to contribute?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're talking about taking opportunities. I want to know, like, practically, how do I know that this is an opportunity that I have to take? Does it always have to be related to promotion at work? Probably it's not. I don't think it always has to be like there's a vacancy, like so you have to fill it to be promoted or where you are. But how do you identify different kind of opportunities, either at your workplace or in an organization you find yourself in? So that's my challenge.
One of the best ways, maybe the only way maybe, is finding spotting problems. So, okay, this is a dicey one. Yeah, spotting problems. But really just sitting down and looking at the environment. The environment is where you work, where you live, where you are, your country, wherever, and looking and seeing where are the areas where something can be done different or better. Now, outside of promotions, one of the things I have experienced is taking up more responsibility. And because you take up more responsibility, you get exposed to the capacity within you to do more. You get the opportunity to learn new areas of the business. And that also positions you for maybe a promotion later on, or even an opportunity outside of your organization. So where, for instance, you have maybe you're in the marketing team, and marketing is done in a particular way, and no one has thought about doing it online, mobile, and you go and say, hey, you can actually do it this other way. Or we create that as a work and a task that we can sort out, and you become maybe the social media manager or the internet online manager. It wasn't there. So it's really about asking yourself or looking around you and saying, how can we do something better? How can we make a change? One of the things is not being too concerned about who takes the credit. Because in most situations, we're very focused on, so how do I do this so I can look like I'm the winner, I'm the champion, I'm the bulldozer. And then we forget that, so this is going to help the business look better. And this is going to help the business grow. So if, for instance, you're in a situation where you have a boss you don't like, horrible bosses 1 and 2, you're like, okay, I'm going to keep this idea, I'm not going to say anything about it. And when I get the opportunity, when I'm in front of the board, I'll say it and I'll look like very good. There are times where you never get the opportunity, and then the business suffers because of that. So, by all means, look around, see what's there that can be done differently, and those are opportunities that you can take advantage
I'm trying to merge what you said about brand. Brand should be able to fulfill the promises they will. It's quite dicey because, as you just say, a brand is a projection of what my person intend to achieve. So, how do you strike the right balance to know when to actually match up the brand with the promises that you keep out, and when to hype the brand to meet the expectations you got for them? Because those two components are fused with the brand image. You cannot decouple them. It should be a promise that you can meet, and they should be promises that you are expecting when you say to it. So how do you care about it?
Now, products that do well are products that meet the brand promise and exceed the customer expectation. Those are products that we said will deliver 1 foot of hamburger, Subway, and someone went and measured it and it was less than a foot. This is a real life case. The Subway is a US brand. They said we'll give you a foot, so 12 inches. And the customer measured it and it was 11 inches. And it was a case because they put it on social media, it was everywhere. So the products that do well, or brands that do well, meet the promise or even exceed it. And the customer says, oh wow, I'm going back. I had an experience today where there's a food vendor who's been advertising, call us to deliver. I called, took them an hour, 30 minutes, they got my food. I was almost dying. And I didn't go and rant about it because I felt that, okay, let me have a conversation with the owner and talk to her and everything. And it's really, so 1 hour after my order, the guy called me and said, oh, madam, did you order bamboo? And I said, no, I ordered something else. If I mentioned what it is, you know, so I'm not going to say. And so this is 1.5 hours. And the brand promise, the projection that I've seen and everybody's talking about it and taking pictures and saying it's so good, is totally different from what I actually experienced. I'll try it again because I really like the person who owns the business and I wanted to succeed. That's just open mind. But the problem is where you promise something that if you don't have the capacity to meet the promise or something goes wrong, then your customer is not satisfied. One of failures in when you fail, when you promise something and you couldn't achieve it, once in a while, depending on how you communicate it to your customers, communicate it to the world, it's a bit acceptable. But every time the person interacts with the brand, there's a failure, it's an issue. It's just like how we have a very hard measuring line for people, religious leaders, versus the measuring line we have for celebrities. So when you hear that a religious leader has done a sex tape, like, what? You know, but when you hear Tiffany, who did a sex tape recently, somebody like, you know, any of those ones like that. They're just up to it again. It's a PR gimmick. They're trying to get popular. That's what you expect. You don't expect that from a religious person. But both of them are human beings. So they all have the capacity to fail. But we put one on a very high pedestal and we left on the okay, normal for where they are. So sometimes service failures happen. How it's communicated, and really, if the religious leader came out and said, I'm really sorry, and he cried and said, it's the devil, I'm very sorry. And he went through the process of getting forgiveness, and his wife came on TV with him and held his hand and said, oh, I trust him, like Bill Clinton and Hillary, and I'm committed to this marriage. Everybody, we remember what Clinton did, but we still love him. You know, so that's how it is. And I feel that the brand promise is very, very important. What you want to be, like the ideal of where you want to get to is important, but you must have show a tangible path of getting there. It shouldn't be that you said that okay, we're going to build, we're going to give you ice cold water every day when you work in Ghana, you live in Ghana, you know the winter situation, you don't have a generator. How are you going to achieve that promise? So there has to be a tangible plan in the business, in the individual, as our case is to achieve that projection.
I get you, but I still have still find it difficult because what you did say fits perfectly for that. It's very difficult to do so for a service or a personality.
I sell a service,
So,
and services are very difficult to sell. And that's because service failures are almost inevitable. Because of how services are naturally, the things outside of the control of you, the person doing it, the intangible aspects of it that you can't control. So we see that service failures are always going to be there. How you recover from the service is the issue. So you failed, what did you do? And the individual failed, what did you do? Now with personal brands, I feel that it's important that as much as we project the ideal of who we are, one of the things I try to do, and if you check my profile, on my blog, wherever, I haven't started saying I'm a business leader. And every time someone refers to me as a business leader, I tell them emerging business leader. Because I recognize that, yes, I've done this, I've been in Delta for 9 years, I've worked all together plus all of my internships and everything 12 years. I don't think that makes me a business leader. Okay, so that's my assessment of my value and my place in life. So it's important that we have a very good assessment of who we are and what we are, and then we don't project ourselves too big or too small. Too small is the problem in garments. We're never too big. Too small is the main problem. So we're hiding all the time. Any other questions, contributions?
Yes, contribution. Okay, so when you work in an industry or a place whereby the levels of access to your boss or your head or whoever it is that's in charge of the organization is minimal, you are able to do the interaction as you are able to during your national service. With my place, you have several levels of getting to see the governor. And you may not even, in your whole period working there, ever have the opportunity to interact one-on-one with the governor. So what you do is what is actually there. However, presenting new ideas is always thrown away, especially when it has to do with the mingling of an officer, someone who has a lower grade in terms of the hierarchy of the institution, with somebody who is at the top in terms of decision making. And you know when it comes to the planning, you need to have all those people kind of interact. So, like the case that happened today, I suggested, having the heads meet, with their department people who are actually doing the work, so that they make strategic decisions on what needs to be done the way forward. I'm like, it can never happen, But since I closed today, that's what I've been putting in my head, dancing around the issue. Because no matter how you go around it, there has to be some form of interaction. And the paper way in which we are doing it now is going to cause us to feel with a new plan as we have done with the law. So yes, that is my problem too. But that is something also that I am just putting forward here. When you have several levels of interaction and there are bureaucracies in terms of how you are able to put forward issues or solutions to certain things which everybody recognizes as a problem, but the way forward in providing a solution is not open to everybody in terms of acceptance, that presents a unique challenge.
So what do you do?
And that is what I am. If you have the back of my mind.
So how do you solve that? That's a tough situation.
Yes. I guess in a couple of months' time, I should be able to come up. I must come up with something on tomorrow afternoon.
Wow. So I get this feedback every time I speak to a group, and I speak a lot about entrepreneurship. So taking initiative within the group, running your role as is your own business. And the feedback I get, forgive me that I'm sitting down, the feedback that I get a lot is that this doesn't work in the public sector. So you can't just say, okay, I'm a new employee, I found a problem, I'm going to solve it, I'm on fire. You have to go through the lines of reports and go, and sometimes all of that reporting kills your initiative. Yeah. So yes, I get that feedback a lot, but I also ask a lot, so what can you do?
You can do something. I've not given up on the form of interaction because from the point of recommendation I have made, it's going to bring about that interaction without it being so obvious. Okay. So in a way, the heads will be forced to interact if they want to take it serious.
I like that. And I like that because at the point when you tell yourself that, okay, I'm giving up, is where you're going to start getting really, really frustrated. So whatever the challenge is, turn it around, you get stuck. Turn it the other way, you get stuck. You just have to keep at it, keep hitting it. And it's tough sometimes. I've worked in sales since 2008, and selling is one of the most difficult things in life. Selling a service is even more difficult because you have nothing to show. Sometimes we take brochures. Yeah, and people have the perception, they've experienced this, if they've had challenges, and they come back and tell you that, oh, no, I'm not going to go. You learn rejection very quickly. So having to go to one place and them telling you, no, I'm not going to buy, don't come here again, they shut the door. But you still have to do 10 other sales calls every day. Okay. So those are the challenges. But what sets you apart is that resolve that I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep at it. Even when you're failing, just keep at it. And this is not to sound like we're just motivating you and trying to buy you up, but it's true. This past week, I got an award, an excellence award from my global office. I was in a conference this week, and it was a sales award. And when I was called, I was like, wow, this is the most difficult year. The most difficult year for Ghana, traveling. Last year was Ebola. Everything was just so tough. The US got to the point where there was a lot of pressure on the government to stop flights into Africa. But they just thought that Africa is one country and everybody has Ebola. So there was nobody coming in. And it was very, very tough. But I just said to myself that, okay, I'm just going to keep at what I'm doing. And you keep at it every week or every day, you look at your sales reports and it's not doing very well, you put rest. I'm not about to get fired. But just keeping at it, and continuing on the strategy, changing it a bit. And I think that at the end of the day, what matters is that you're able to tell yourself, I've done my best. I've really, really done my best. And it really does produce results eventually. There are times where I know people who nobody ever recognizes the efforts until they are long gone from the business. Oh, so she did this. Students. So yeah, so especially in public sector where there's the code of ethics and then there's the reporting lines, it's more difficult. I lead a team of 15 and it's an open office. So I don't have a door. When you have a problem, you come to me, it's open. You don't have to knock or anything. It's my cubicle. So if you have a suggestion, it's there. But I recognize that other organizations are not as flat as that. Yeah, and we live in Africa too, where positions and titles are very important. So when I tell people, oh, you can call me Petra, I'm like, yeah. So it's what it is.
So to ask me about visual what you just said, I think we are socialized in a certain way. And so you as an intrapreneur or entrepreneur, depending on the situation you find yourself in, it becomes difficult if you want to have an open kind of relationship that you're talking about in your office. Like for example, in my office, you're just three. The CEO, the vice president, and then another staff, we're all in the same space. And so we're trying as much as possible to make the staff feel free. But it seems because of the socialization, it becomes very difficult. And then you realize that a call comes in, and then the person wants to get up, like excuse you or something. Yeah, it's an office. It's not like it's not even a cell phone call or something. So how do you try to? I don't know if it's
unsocialize or reorient yourself or your staff
Yeah.
to, feel at home and then have, that kind of mentality? How do you do that?
I still have people in my office who call me business assistant. Some call some of our colleagues. And I every time I hear Auntie something like, okay, yeah, this is what's home. So you call me Petra, you call somebody else Auntie something. And I think it's definitely the socialization part. It's the leader's responsibility to try and get the followers at the point where you feel like they're free. And forgive me if you're not religious, I am. I use Jesus as an example. When the Bible talks about him and his disciples, it always said he was in their midst, they were together, they were eating, they were doing everything. It never said anything about Jesus was there and had a bodyguard. And the disciples had to go through the personal assistant to see him. And when Peter's mother was sick, he went to maybe John and said, "Oh, please, can I see the master?" He just went and told him whatever he wanted to tell him. So I feel that type of leadership where you're open, gradually your people catch on to it. But it's a process. So they will get there. My husband has a team, he runs a business as well. And one of our biggest challenges now is just trying to put in certain structures. So finance was done a particular way, you do a payment voucher, you don't just come with the boss signs a check and you go and cash the money. It must be done a particular way. So we're building structures. And the finance guy keeps telling the consultant that we've outsourced it to somebody else who has more skill than him. He keeps saying that, "Oh, I'm afraid if I go to boss to sign the payment voucher and ask him why is he taking the money. Will he say no? If he says no, what will I say?" And we just keep, the first time we got the feedback, we just burst out into laughter. We're laughing because we're thinking that this is the business we're trying to grow, we're building a structure, and you're afraid that you're going to get fired if you ask questions. But that's how he's works. That's how he knows it's been done. That you don't ask if your director comes and says, "Give me 1,000 CDs," you just take the money from the joint.
Because the business is yours, so all
Yes.
money that comes to you is yours. So
And
if
that's
I come asking
yeah.
for money,
Yeah.
I don't need to ask you questions.
Why? Yeah. And that's another fundamental problem where employees don't see the business as is our business, but it's the owner's business. The owner also enforces the fact that this is my business, so you can't come and tell me. So it runs both ways. But I feel the owner's life more on the leader to get the people into that. But it's tough in Ghana. And then the issue of, sorry, Joshua, where do you draw the line? Where you become very friendly and then everybody's open and the one you want to be stabbed by something you use to overstep the boundaries of, okay, so I gave you that much access and then now you think you can just like talk to me anyhow or be anyhow. So there's also that balance that you have to meet. Sometimes people start off like, okay, so call me by my first name. And then I had a situation where an intern called me and says, yeah, so Petra, she wanted me to justify something. And how she spoke over the phone, like, hello, like, it's almost as if she just forgot that this is another individual who possibly is my boss's boss or something. And she just threw everything. She felt like, okay, yes, we're all buddy. So there are instances where you have to now say, okay, to you, I'm Mrs. Asamoah. Or if you're going to speak to me this way, then you're not going to speak call me by my first name. So there are times like that where you have to just, because some individuals don't get it.
That you can be friendly without being disrespectful.
Exactly. And then they assume that because you're friendly with them, they don't have to go by the rules, they can do whatever they want, they can come in when they want. So you always have to balance it. So it also tends to be that the people who are closest to you are the ones who get more fire. So my one colleague that really the closest one, she's always in trouble some way. You may know I've spoken about her before, my old Jackie. She does all my events and everything. And she gets it. She sits right in the
positive for me, but because she's the closest, and she's the one I interact most with, and I laugh with and everything, she gets the first fire every time. So yeah, there's that as well.
I was going to go back to somebody like for something like Dr. Himself. He starts off with you as Bob, and if you've ever gone through him, you know him as Bob and know him as Robert. And because he does that, he gets himself through to you in a very informal way and make sure that there are boundaries within the informality. So you can relate to him as buddy if you know him. So you can do anything with God, but there is a bit of a power distance that he makes sure.
A bit.
He makes sure that it's that thing is present. So you can call him, you can go to him, but you know that he's God, but he's talking to himself. So you need to know how to gauge the relationship,
Yeah.
but he didn't show himself to you that like I'm all this. So you also need to be able to read and know the temperament and then you got to be able to.
And I have a personal story where I overstepped my boundaries with a leader and it was not very good. So he corrected me and I made a joke out of it. And so this was it. Let me just see the whole story. I usually didn't go for lunch. And one time I went for lunch, I took more than an hour. And just that one time, he brought it up and said, where have you been? You've been gone for more than an hour. And I'm like, okay, I didn't go for lunch every day. And I went one time. And my boyfriend came and took me out one time. And I took more than an hour completely. So the next day, I sent an email when I was going for lunch. And I said, oh, I'm going for lunch. I'll be back in an hour. And I started counting the minutes. And to me, and with the benefit of hindsight, I was disrespectful because he had done that because he wanted to correct me. And now I was poking fun at it. And it was bad. So he sent me a long email about how if you do this, I'm not going to correct you. And I'm like, okay, let me just check myself. So yeah, there are times where we need to know that, so as much as we're buddying with a boss, we still make sure that we have basic things that will get into certain conversations with them. Like someone asked a colleague's wife, oh, you're pregnant. She's like, okay, so what's your business then? You know, and he said he just swallowed the rest of his words. Like, it was just a very big thing. Like, yeah, so you don't ask that question. Because she's smiling with you and she's your colleague's wife and she comes around, it doesn't mean that you must accept it.
I don't know if it's a comment question. When we talk about taking opportunities, we are women in tech. Some people are starting businesses in tech. It's like we see the problems, we identify them, and we are chasing these opportunities. So what message do you have for us? Because sometimes it's similar to your scenario. It's a challenge to I know have some stories, but even personally, it's a challenge to pursue that opportunity and see it. Like what do you have to say about that for us?
So this is a situation where it's also a large organization where you think the whole
I
way.
mean, let's say you have even for me, my organization, the issues that are where I am now is politics that is a problem. So it's flat. I can talk to my CEO, I have no issues. But sometimes there are certain decisions that sit somewhere. I can see the problem, I can talk about it, I can describe it. But the decision is here, then there's politics at play. How do I go about doing that kind of change in that organization? You know, because there are other things that will play against you. And you really, I think, besides what
You talk to
yeah.
decide on
Yeah.
what clique are you in.
Exactly. That's it.
Thankfully, I don't have any of that. But yeah, office politics is a big issue. And my biggest advice is try and be neutral. Like you're trying not to be really
Conversations, you pretend as if you haven't heard what is going on. In some conversations, people have to actually mention my name and go like, so what do you think? Like, what are you talking about? Yes. So because it's long, you can't start from the beginning in order for me to be something. So you know that I am not interested.
Yeah.
Try to be
Even if you have an opinion.
or even if you have
As long as they push you in a situation where you're now on some side, and maybe that side is the side where exactly, or the power is not, try to be neutral. One of the principles I have is, in the office, whatever I say behind you, I will master the courage to say it in front of you. That's to be good. Whether it's good or bad, you have to say what yeah. Because there are times where you complain about your colleague, you complain to somebody else, and then you realize that, okay, I just said all these things about Joshua. If Joshua hears it, what's he going to think about me? So I find a way to go and tell Joshua before he hears it on the grapevine. And this and this and this is what the challenge is, and this is what he did, and I don't like it, or this is what he's doing, and I don't like it. So it puts a check on me as well to stop running my mouth. If I know that what I'm telling you, what I'm telling the other person, I can't tell Joshua in his face. I'll just swallow it. So that also helps. And it manages the relationships as well. It's not like you're pretending. You don't have to like the people you work with, but you have to be cordial with them. And then truly, sometimes you have to endure them. There's some people like, oh, I don't want to be in the same space with this person, like they're always screaming at me or something. But you have to find a way to work with them. And the reason is that the institution becomes bigger than the individual. I don't like you, I don't like how you talk, I don't like what you wear, all of those things. Tomorrow, what are we going to do together to make this business? Okay, so let's turn it. Did I answer your question?
Because I'm sorry. Because, okay, this particular scenario I'm just thinking about right now is I feel like I'm taking a side and I'm comfortable with this side I'm taking because it spells to me, I think, the business of somebody continue monitoring that people need to change strategy, to change them. It wasn't already we need to change that. And it's now the time to see people who we are trying to gather enough evidence to say this is the change needs to happen. So in that state, I just want to come to neutral. I need to take that side, and whatever happens, I need to do that taking that side because I think it's the best.
I agree. I agree that when it comes to the business decision and taking sides is important. Where I find that you shouldn't take sides is where it becomes about personalities. Yeah. So Joshua is the MD and there is a deputy MD and like okay, so if I like Joshua and I tell him stuff about what some other people are doing, those kind of things is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Try and gain favor and then gain opportunity. But when it comes to issues of this is a business decision. It's not about I don't like you, I don't like what you're saying. I just don't like the direction in which you're taking the business. It's fine. It's fine to have a stand. And I have a challenge most times where when I believe in something, I really believe in it. And I would say it, and even when it's successful, I'll still say it. And say, I'm really sorry if it sounds like I'm being blunt or being too direct, but this is really what I think. And what you're doing is going to help us. You don't end up as somebody who is liked too much. But I've also realized that you don't really have to be liked all the time to get things done. So, yeah.
So I was saying, on the reverse side, we're talking about taking opportunities. How about you have all the opportunity? How do you prevent yourself from becoming overwhelmed by the opportunities? So, like, for example, you're in a workplace and you have opportunities to maybe you're not exposed to using the computer and the internet. So you've been employed and you have internet access like
25 feet. And it's fast, it's good. And then you have the opportunity of meeting people from different cultural backgrounds. You have the opportunity of going places. How do you handle all that as an individual so you don't become overwhelmed and then matching it up with your personality? Probably you are not an outgoing person, you're more to yourself. How do you take those opportunities, one, and make use of them, looking at the kind of personality you have and not being overwhelmed by the opportunities? So if I said I was an introvert, do you believe? Yeah. So I'm an extroverted introvert, what I say. I'm very choleric, but my choleric is not to be out and about and talking to people and meeting everybody. But the opportunities of my work and the exposure of it and the path that I'm following opens me up to having to adjust. So there are times when every day or the week, maybe like 3 times in the week, I have an event and I have to meet people, I have to smile, and I have to do all my business card, and meet people, and meet people. And then by the end of the week, I crash. I'm really, and if you're an introvert in a sales role, you understand me. You get the point that, oh, I really want to smile today. Like, I'm tired, my smile is finished. But you have to get to the point where you realize that. So this is one of the things I did, and one of what I was saying was like really think about what are your strengths or weaknesses. One of the things I realized was if I allow my natural personality to grow, I will never succeed in business. So my regular best day is lie down in my bed and read my book. And if you gave me, and that's why I said with the first time. If you gave me the choice of what I want to do in the evening, I won't choose going to a party or going to meet people. But I have to do it because of my work. I have to do it because of what I want to be able to achieve. The fact that I think that there are lots of things that I want to talk about that people have to hear. So if I'm going to sit in my bed and there's I could write a book and sell the book, but how many people buy the book if they've never heard of Petra? So there's that. So I feel that yes, your personality comes in. How do you not suppress your personality, but how do you enhance it as well? And then how do you use those opportunities the best way? So if, for instance, you're in a sales role and networking is like number one of the things you have to master, you decide that, okay, I can do 3 networking events every week and meet maybe an average of 5 people, and then build those 5 people and make sure that I know them, I'm calling them, I possibly get some 1 or 2 sales made from them. And then on the introvert side, I don't want to do anything. I can say, okay, maybe if I don't want to go and do the event, can I send an email, can I do a phone call? One of the biggest walls now is WhatsApp. So instead of calling people, we're texting them and texting them and texting them. We're texting them for 30 minutes, then we're speaking to them for 1 minute. So when you're open to so many things that you can do, it's either becoming overwhelming, like you're meeting all these people, you have all these meetings, you have all these things you have to do. I think the first thing is just prioritize and getting to know what's the most important thing I need to do. So this week I have women in tech, I have one other meeting tomorrow, I have to contact. How am I going to manage all of these things, put all of my notes together, make sure that I'm at my best, and still ensure that I'm a proper health and development manager? 5 days, 8 days in a week. Okay, so it's deciding that what's the most important and just working your way through it. Yeah, but sometimes too much opportunity can also choke you. When you don't know what to choose, what to do. Everybody's calling you, you're very good, I want to hire you. And so you're here for 1 year and you're gone again for another year and you're like, that's not a bad thing for you though. Okay, business. That's the business like a bad thing.
We had 40 people join us. Don't worry, we came here to smile.
We all introduce ourselves before we get our service. Because we are close.
Just for anyone.
Yeah, so we don't want you to feel that.
Don't worry, we don't.
We'll be interested in knowing you.
But just be
So name and where it's from and an interesting fact.
yeah.
Interesting fact.
About yourself.
I'll make some up. So this up to you.
My name is Petra.
Oh man.
Something interesting. Regarding that.
Anyway.
I'm a graphic designer.
Okay.
Anyways, I am music. Interesting facts.
That's the interesting part, especially the numbers.
Okay, so my name is Asamoah. I am a software developer, and interesting fact, I work two jobs. One with nothing about.
What is interesting about that?
Well, I just work weird hours because my other team is in the US. So I come to work late, but I have to leave late. That's interesting.
You're working in two time zones.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. I'm actually like playing a script right now because I just came back with 5 hours and yeah, so I just took a weekend. That's really interesting.
Okay, I'm not hiding. I'm still thinking about that interesting things when I come up with something else.
That's an interesting one. Nice to meet you, Oh, okay.
Sorry, I couldn't use. I'm in your household. I'm a less education. I don't know whether this is an interesting. I can be a student bias.
One thing I have a problem with them.
Crazy people are usually like very introverted. Yeah, so we get it. Yeah, it's cheap one over there. See, I keep thinking over there. Okay, so I think it's almost half past. So Petra, thank you very much for and I need to go on to sales 101 because I think how would I do? Oh yeah, so I'm tell myself on that. Yeah. So my sales 101 page is my name. So there's my profile, my personal profile, and then my page. It's the same name. I used to make my image to make it very clear, but if you do Petra Asamoah, you find request friendship, then you see the page, so business person page. And what we do on Friday evenings from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. every Friday is we discuss something related to sales. So next we are in our 13th week, so we do it every Friday. And what I basically do is right now we're discussing the 10 qualities of a successful salesperson. And with that, we talk about charisma, we talk about discipline, and then drive. And then Friday, we talk about the fourth. And we're going to do that until we get to 10. And then we'll change, possibly after Christmas, we'll change the topic. But it's an online discussion. I'll post like the main issue with some of my thoughts. And then everybody else who's available says something. And then I convert that into an article on my blog for maybe the following week or the week after. So the blog launched on the 27th of October. There's 6 or so articles there already that you can read and you can share and tell me what you think about. I write basically there's a lifestyle column, there's a faith column, and there's a business column. So under the business is where all the sales one-on-one stuff will be. And it's free. Let's go to the campus and do it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in and speaking to us. It's been a pleasure having you. Very much. Thank you for having me. I think it's now time to network, let's get to know each other. Someone has been awfully quiet since we came, so let's try and get to know each other and see what businesses we can build out of these things. Because basically, that's also one of the main reasons that we need to meet us. So we have some snacks served. Do you meet every month? Well, starting from January. Yeah. So yeah. So starting January, hopefully we have like a monthly meetup. It will be the same time every once a month. Yeah, it will be every day. Yeah, every Wednesday. Thursday evening. I don't want to get taken person. I don't want to take person. That's all I can do. I am not a taking person. I have no idea. I care about psychology. So that's what respect. You and I are virtual the same thing. So for those forums, the goal is to have a feature like we talk about some. We talk about setting up business. We talk about sales, marketing. We talk about graphic design, or software development, or we can teach you a programming language and some of it. But it's just a short video just to get ourselves acquainted with what's after what's going to be today, so we can build that. Thank you very much. So, guys, that's so below and yeah.